Hello, hello, hello. Service is universal. Welcome to Royal Sussex. Welcome, one and all. Um, what was that? You want to hear Once Upon a Time again? uh, some snowy night by the fire, but not now. So let me go all the way back and see who started everything today. Celia, C, thank you so much. You were the first one here. Lydia Washington, yeah, you were the second one here. Happy Thursday to you too. And Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for staying up late with us. And Fu, I see you're here. And Joy, who else is here? Okay, Fran Cody, hello. Judy Mustasid, hello. CR. Oh man, a giant piece of that, claiming he doesn't want Megan, Archie, or Lily at the coronation. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Uh, Angel A, hello. Squad with love from the UK. As it is Friday, tomorrow I am going to try and stay up a bit later to catch this live. Okay, thank you so much. Um, well, I'm going to try to come on a bit earlier next time. It's been raining, and when it rains, I always it makes me sleep more. And plus, I was up late last night working on a project unrelated to Royal Sussex. So I'm all over the place, but that happens during the winter months a lot. So anyway, that's enough of all that. Who shot John? Let's get on with it, shall we? So we don't keep everybody up too late. Oh, by the way, Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, let us move on. I still can't believe that they did not airbrush that photo of Precious Kate, the Immaculate Heart of Kate. They forgot to airbrush that photo. That was so careless. I bet you that won't happen again. Let me see. Where was the thing I made yesterday? Um, I can't remember the nosy neighbor's name. Um, you forgot to close your blinds last night. I seed you. I seed you. Uh, and when I saw they forgot her airbrush, for some reason, that was my default setting. I went right to the nosy neighbor. I seed you. I seed you. You were sitting there reading a book. I better stop because I'm laughing, but that particular scene of the women of Brewster's place may trigger some people, so I shouldn't laugh about it. But I tell you, it was quite a amazing piece of acting, that scene, wasn't it? And then she put the book down and kept. Let me just say, in a neighborhood like that, don't leave your blinds open. If you guys haven't seen the Women of Brewster Place, you may not get that reference, but that was a pivotal. I'm sorry, pivotal. I can't even say it. It was a pivot. If I stopped smiling, maybe I could say it. But it just goes to show. Oh, there I go. Sorry about that. It just goes to show you my mentality that all the good acting in that movie, especially the scene with Cicely Tyson, all the good acting in that movie, all the great speeches and such. And the one thing that sticks around in that hat rack I call a head is you forgot to close your blinds last night. I seed ya. I seed ya. I know. I'm gonna have to watch that again probably. All right, let me stop talking about Brewster Place. It's 2023. So that's enough about the women of Brewster's Place. Okay, where was I? See, I'm telling you guys, I am a hoot on a road trip. If you have to go for a long drive, you want me riding shotgun because, especially when I get to the truck stop and I buy me like that 2 pound bag of M&Ms, it's nonstop chatter. Okay, so New York Times bestseller. As you can see, combined print and ebook nonfiction 4 weeks in, and Spare rules supreme. Hardcover nonfiction, 4 weeks in, and Spare rules supreme. Now, Pamela Anderson has been all over the place lately. I didn't know she had a book to sell, but you know, I have to tell you guys, when you hear the backstory, sometimes you could easily overlook a person's humanity. Now, I don't know much about Pamela Anderson, and except for the superficial stuff that I know, to realize that she was one of the biggest things on television, and I believe they said that her residuals from Baywatch um, is all of $5,000 a year. $5,000 a year. That's what she gets per year for her residuals from Baywatch. And you guys, residuals is generational wealth. And to give you an idea of how devastating that can be, imagine you're on like the biggest show ever, the Cosby Show, and then suddenly you find out that the executive producer has gotten himself in quite a fix. And so that which you were hoping to carry you into your um, retirement suddenly dries up because, well, the demand for the show is all but non existent. So that means that those families that were expecting, well, as you know, the one guy from the show wound up in a Tyler Perry movie or two. But before that, I forget the name of the guy, but someone was very rude and snapped a photo of him at the Trader Joe's working, and without his consent in a public place, they just snapped his photo. And of course, the idea was to embarrass or humiliate him. Well, in the long run, they did him a favor, but the um, you know, goal behind that initially was to cause him embarrassment. And so, it just goes to show that you can be on some of the biggest shows on television, and for one reason or another, whether it's a bad contract like Pamela, or whether it's a bad situation like with Cosby, you can find yourself going hungry in your later life. So, uh, too bad that happens. But yeah, it's an investment. So, and when you're on those shows, one of the things, like for instance, the television show Friends. Well, if one or two of those people had something, dodgy in their backgrounds that could have caused embarrassment and humiliation or something like that, then it could take down the entire show. And so everybody who's expecting those residuals, they end up suffering. I know that sounds like first world problems, but still, if you're one of those people and you're dependent on that, that must be devastating. Lydia says, Baron, that was Miss Sophie, played by Olivia Cole. I see ya. I see ya. Sitting there just like a spider. Now, the most amazing person to do that, you guys have to hear Mo Shannon do the old "I see ya, I see ya." Uh, she deserves an Emmy for that little scene from Brewster Place. But but thank you so much for that, Lydia, and thank you for the super chat and for watching Royal Sussex. I see ya. I see ya. Oh man, see, once I start something like that, I can't let it go that easy. Pamela Anderson has a book and a docu series, is it? Yeah. To sell. Oh, okay, that explains it. Well, you know, and I ain't mad at it because I kind of think she needs the money. Let me see here. Shotgun Baron. Hey, squad. Well, hey to you, Kathy Gabby. You know, guys, the I don't know if you guys know this, but when I'm looking at the what is this? The StreamYard, the oh, I don't know. I guess you guys see it the same way, where the well, as you can see, I've highlighted that one. You can see like the emojis don't show up. It's all like this encryptic something. That is so weird to me. And it took me a while to figure out that that's what was going on until I started noticing, like just now, it's on the other screen. This is why I open up two screens because it's kind of hard to know for sure what you're looking at. But yeah, that's weird that it comes out like that. But I think there's a thing like that with the iPhone and the Android where if you do a thumbs up symbol, it explains what the symbol is rather than just showing you the actual emoji. Weird. But yeah, so anyway, congratulations to Harry again for another triumphant week in the number one spot. And best of luck to Pamela Anderson. But, you know, me, I have a vested interest in Spare. So I hope Spare just lingers. I hope the hang time is like decades long. I want it to hang in there, and because it's a good book. It's a great book. Although I'm pretty sure that Pamela book is pretty interesting too. But now I kind of know want to know what's going on. But I'll just watch the docu series. How's that? Okay. Oh, Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. Let me see. Oh yeah, that Fergie has written a book and is going to New York to talk about it. Also, I think she is using her title. Well, she still gets to call herself the Duchess of York. I don't know that she still gets to use the HRH. I guess she doesn't. But I tell you what, Fergie was very smart when. Well, this is what Fergie says. She says that when she divorced Andrew, and the queen met with her and asked her, "What is it you require?" And she told the queen, according to her, that she just wanted to have a relationship with her, or she wanted a friendship with the queen, or whatever. And you know what? It paid off for her. I mean, I'd have to say, for someone who that, I don't dislike Fergie, you know. I can't say I dislike her. As a matter of fact, when she was on the Oprah Winfrey Show that time, I was very warm to Fergie at that point because, she said those things about being in the royal family, and she shed a lot of light on stuff that was going on, especially with Princess Diana. And it's interesting that Oprah says that the British tabloid press is vicious and they tried to kill Diana. And this was what, maybe a year or months before Diana died. Not to say that the British press were directly responsible, but it is just a coincidence that Oprah says this. And then not long after, that happened. And when you hear her say it, it's so eerie to hear it because we all know how the story ends. And so Fergie was able to go on Oprah, and it wasn't such a big backlash about her doing the interview in comparison to um, Harry and Meghan appearing on the Oprah Winfrey interview. But yeah, so you know, Fergie, aside from having her foot in somebody's mouth, which is kind of weird, and it always seems like she's broke, which is kind of strange. She, I don't have anything to say. She's all right. I'll just say that she's all right. But between Fergie and let's say Andrew, they always seem to have a want for money, and they always seem to use their positions to hustle their way through life in a way that is real compared to the Sussexes, which they have been successful with other projects not directly related to their title or position. Especially Megan, who has managed to have a public image, a very public life, not bizarrely public like it is now, but she's managed to uplift herself out of obscurity on her own. And of course, Harry didn't have a choice; he was born into it. But aside from Mary and Andrew, Fergie's elevated status in life is born out of a marriage. Chances are we wouldn't know anything about her, or would have never heard of her if it wasn't for the fact that she was married to that vicious bowl of Jello, Andrew. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about her. Some days it's okay, and then other days I'm just like, I don't like her. I don't hate her, of course, but I don't have any warm fuzzies for her. I'll just say it like that. I don't have any warm fuzzies for her. I Yeah. Okay. I think I said enough about her. All right. So let's see. I think that the foot and mouth was a setup. Fergie wanted a divorce from the teddy bear child. I didn't look at it like that, but I guess that would make sense. I just thought she was, but I'm going to say I don't think it was so much of a setup because it was a very dangerous situation to be in as a parent. Because if you look at the wide angle image, Beatrice and Eugenie are children running around the pool while that's happening. And you would take a chance on losing custody, I would imagine it would have seemed like that. You could be found, you know, having endangered the kids, not paying any attention to them while they're running around the swimming pool, not to mention the fact you got your foot in somebody's mouth. I mean, that would have she would have really been taking a chance if that was supposed to be delivered. So I'm going to say I don't believe it was. I think she was just being careless, and I think that for anybody having long range lenses and cameras pointed at you at any given time, even though you know the dangers, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to look the other way and not realize that somebody is looking at you with your top down or with your foot in somebody's mouth or something like that. Easy mistake to make. It's like they say, an assassin only has to get it right one time. You have to get it right every time to avoid falling prey to an assassin, and that's a big burden. So, but anyway, thank you so much for your comment. All right, so next you got right here the Alta Journal. I was about to say Fernal. The Alta Journal California bestseller list, February 8th, 2023. California Independent Booksellers Alliance, Southern California hardcover nonfiction, number one. Northern California hardcover nonfiction, number one. So there you go. Spare just reigns supreme all over the place. I love the fact, is it just that I don't pay attention to the publishing world? Or is this book really just that huge? Is this book really so huge, or is it just that I don't really pay attention? Because it just seems like Spare has taken on a life of its own, um, and it's just huge. It's just huge. I don't ever recall a book being this big unless it was about Harry Potter and something. So I don't know. Maybe I just don't pay attention. But this just seems bigger than anything I could ever recall. Let me see. Okay. All right. So anything? Fergie has complexion protection, so that's why no backlash after Oprah, like Harry and Meghan got. Yeah, that's true. That's true. She could always retreat into um, naivety and so on. Let me see. Judy says Fergie and a lot of women in her station are always playing the victim. Poor, poor me. Yeah, and it's okay. By the way, speaking of playing the victim, did you see where the African American guy? I think he was doing a delivery or something like that, and this woman calls the police, and so he's holding up his phone, with the camera in the selfie position with the self-facing camera, and you could see her in the background calling 911 and getting all worked up, and then she starts crying, and she literally says, now he's threatening me, when he's standing like maybe 25, 30 feet away and looking into the camera and saying to the camera, can you believe this? Are you listening to this? Did you guys see that? It is the latest Karen situation, although in this case, the woman happens to be Asian. And even though she's saying that she's threatened right now, she's by the door. She could easily just walk in, which eventually is what she did. She turned and walked inside the house, but she was having this big meltdown on the phone while saying that this kid is threatening her. So it's hard to believe that in spite of everything we know, and even when a person who is being the accused person is holding up their phone, they still want to believe that they are going to get away with it because of their, as Mo Shannon says, complexion protection. Amazing. But they still believe that they are going to incite some type of riot or violence or police to come in and haul the accused away, even though there it is already in the cloud and distributed amongst the airways. But they believe that they're going to somehow prove that this person threatened them from 50 feet away. Yeah, that's still happening. So weird. Let's see. Okay, let's not forget Fergie was married to QE2's favorite son. So if the son says to the queen to forgive Fergie, she would do it because Fergie is the only one who acted out, left still. Well, and you know what? That was impossible while Philip was alive because from what I hear, is that Fergie, when she finally got invited back to Balmoral, they say that when Philip was on the way, she would clear the hell out of there. She would make like a tree and leave. She would take off in the dark of night if somebody said, "Uh-oh, here come Philip." So, in spite of everything, Philip found her behavior unforgivable. And of course, this was before Philip went jettisoning across that intersection, before he made his car go airborne. Instead of the Dukes of Hazzard, it was the Duke of Great Windsor Park. Um, Before his car went airborne and he broke that woman's arm, that was why do I love saying that so much? Why do I love saying that? But I do get a kick out of that. But yeah, that was before Philip caused the car to become airborne, flying through the intersection and broke that woman's arm. Did you all see the woman on TV with her arm in the sling? You got to see it. She was on television with her arm in the sling saying they haven't reached out to me yet. Oh man. Okay. I got to stop. Let me see. Okay. Baron, if you remember, there were statements from different countries where saying how is a spare was a book of good reference. Yeah, I mean I've seen like a lot about it, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean I guess I imagine I did. All I know is that every time I see some kind of positive update, I share it. Let me see here. Lorna Williams says, I think that marriage was over because why would they do that in front of the kids? Who can tell on you? Also, Teddy Bear Child was allegedly making fun of her weight, among other things. Wait a minute. Wait. He was making fun of her weight? He was making fun of her weight? I mean, uh, let me see. He was making fun of her weight. Now, I had to tell you, when Andrew was younger, I mean, to tell you, he was, quite attractive. But now, not so much. I mean, he ought not say nothing about anybody. Not a thing. Look at the grotesque he has grown into. This big bloated, overprivileged grotesque. Look at what he's turned into. He should that's what does they say is he has a lot of cheek to say something like that about anybody. Ugh. 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 Oh man. Asking for a friend. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see. I don't even know how we got to talking about Fergie, but I'm enjoying it. Fergie wasn't family to them, so they didn't care. What she said about Harry was low key their favorite Prince, so his interview hit them different. Yeah, that's true. It carries a more weight coming from Harry because of his popular position in the family. Let us not forget that Harry was the only one in the family that polled higher than the Queen, probably since Diana. So, for that reason, I am going to say I agree totally with that. Okay. Oh, thank you. All right. So, all right, I'm going to move on. Protesters shout no more monarchy at Prince William Kate Middleton during Cornwall visit. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the film for that. I am very shy about sharing these things because I have been dinged by the powers that be for copyright. And seeing that I'm almost out of copyright jail, I just don't want to tempt faith and share anything. However, it really wasn't much to it. It certainly didn't. reached the level of Andrew, you're a sicko man. It didn't get that serious. They just literally walked the kid to the side. He wasn't even arrested or anything, but he was holding, I believe, a blank piece of paper, and he just said that, as this is modern times, we don't need this lot anymore, and the police just detained him. And when it comes to situations like that, freedom of speech is, the bedrock of any democracy or any country pretending to be a democracy, which is just about every country in the world, because real democracy is not a thing. We live in representatory republics. We are represented by politicians, congressmen, whatever. That's a representatory republic. The ideal of democracy is just that, but it's not a complete democracy. We don't get a chance to have a direct vote unless it's a referendum, and those are so rare. So, that being said, that freedom of speech, I value that. But in cases where it can cause harm or injury or worse to another person, I don't I don't have a problem with them um, monitoring a person, holding up a sign or something like that, because as we recall from Malcolm X, when somebody yelled, "Hey man, get your hand out my pocket," well, that was a distraction created to, you know, distract from what was about to happen. So I think you have to look at those things, and you have to consider or even remove a person from a situation if it's going to incite trouble. I do believe that, but in a way that is still public, I believe people should have a right to protest. I mean, certainly, whatever we're thinking about any of these people, I'm sure that we don't want anybody, especially if they're with their kids, to get harmed. And so, likewise, when it comes to the Sussexes, I would hope that they would act in the same way, because you can't wish for these things to be addressed for one person and not the other. So, um, pay attention, monitor whatever you got to do to ensure public safety, but people still have a right to protest. And holding up a blank piece of paper, I don't think rises to the occasion of, tackle that person or detain that person or something like that. So I think they went way overboard with the kid in Scotland who called Andrew a sick old man. Yes, it was enough to disturb the peace. But arresting that kid at that point was really for his safety more than anybody else, because he was pulled to the ground by one of the bystanders. But then again, that bystander may have been a police officer, an undercover police officer. So we don't know if that was actually someone from the public or if that was a undercover police officer that yanked him to the ground, because they do mix in with the crowd. So, but yeah, in those circumstances, you have to even make sure that you protect the protester, because, a crowd can turn on you. Being an African American, I am acutely aware of the idea of mobs and what they can do to people. So that is something to consider. But again, as I am being so generous with the Cambridges and, of course, the Waleses now, and I'm being very polite and generous with Charles, I'm going to expect the same with the Sussexes if there is any incidents like that. I want them to make sure that they're secure. So that is what I feel about that. Kate Middleton and Prince William's historic debut in Cornwall interrupted by furious protesters is effing ridiculous. Oh, so that was the exact words, and it's from GB News, so it must be true. And according to The Sun, the protester says it's the 21st century. We don't need a monarchy anymore. It's effing ridiculous. So, yeah, that is the part that has been omitted in some of the reports is, is that he said it was flipping ridiculous. I agree, especially since the Sussexes are gone. I especially agree with that. Joy Amore, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you. Let me see. Fergie probably has several receipts on Andy's past behavior that could also explain why she is still, in some ways, part of the family. She is making money of her association to the crown somewhat. Somewhat, somewhat, a lot what? She's making plenty money because of her association with the crown. That is room and board, bread and butter, a townhouse in Mayfair. Oh, she's getting all kind of stuff out of there. Ooh, let me see here. Lisa Bonet said sold off her future royalties from the Cosby Show years before. Oh, good, good. While it was still worth something, huh? Well, that was smart. You know what? I'm sure at the time she just wanted to rid herself of the association to that show. I'm sure that was more than about profit. She probably just wanted to rid herself of any future connection to that show. Boy, I bet she feels good about it now. Let me see. Uh, well, I think a favorite to the public, but not necessarily to the family. Yeah, a favorite to the public, but not to the family. Okay. All right, let's move on. I think I'm still on this one, am I? Yes, today during the Kate and William visit, the police grabbed a peaceful protester and dragged him away from the barrier. Outrageous interference with freedom of speech, defend dissent, not my king, Neiman Marcus, not my prince. Um, yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't that big of a crowd anyway, right? And I don't think that this kid's life was in imminent danger. So they didn't need to arrest him. I mean, if you take a look at these photos right here, people just kind of politely turned and looked at him and then looked back in the other direction. And there he is, just holding his sign. And the police came and arrested him. And, even in Russia, people were trying to protest the war holding blank pieces of paper, and they were arrested. And then after that, in order to turn up the pressure, if you just stood in a public space and you weren't taking pictures, you weren't holding hands or anything like that, like a tourist, then the police would arrest you under suspicion of protesting. They would arrest you anyway. So that is the new I guess, way of protesting is to hold up the blank pieces of paper, and now the police take that as being somewhat as an aggressive stance, and they just arrest you anyway. So yeah, it is uh, a bit overhanded to do something like that, but I don't think this kid was in any danger, but definitely up in Scotland if they hadn't arrested that kid. And you know what's so strange about that though? When that kid threw the egg at Charles, it was like a cult. Do you guys remember how when he threw those eggs, then all of a sudden the crowd started yelling, "God save the king! God save the king!" And it was the same way when he yelled, "Andrew, you're a sick old man." They all started chanting, "God save the king! God save the king!" I'm like, are you all serious? Are you all serious? What kind of mind control is this? That was strange. But you know what? Let me take that back. I'm gonna tell you why I don't find that so strange. USA, USA. Yeah. When you think about it, there we have something like that here. Even in Congress the other night, or was it last night or the night before, the State of the Union address, when they were booing Biden, the Democrats and other supporters started yelling, USA, USA. So, okay, okay, all right. So I am going to concede that it's not all that strange for someone to do that. Let's see. Lorna says, "Oh, that's for April, May." Okay. Let me see. I don't think it was a member of the public. You're talking about the. Well, let's take a look at that, shall we? I mean, since we're on the topic, why don't we just take a look at it? Let me see here. Andrew, you're a sicko man. Here we go. Let's take a look at that. Now I'm going to skip a bit. In Scotland, they are marching. All right, I am going to skip a bit because I don't want to watch the whole thing. Yelled out as loud as he could. That is the very famous location where we heard, Andrew, you're a sick old man. So just to give you a little reference to the geography, the Queen was rolling down the street in her royal state hearse, and the kid on the side saw a group of siblings, an aging group of baby boomers, actually a couple of them pensioners at this point, walking toward him, and he was so overwhelmed with emotion that something welled up inside of him and said, Andrew, you're a sick old man. And then he was plucked from the crowd, thrown to the ground, handcuffed, and as he was carted away, he yelled, disgusting! Woo! Disgusting! I love that. That was like my best day since Christmas. When he yelled disgusting, I promise you, you could hear it as far away as Glasgow. Disgusting! Okay. So let me catch up with the comments here. Let me see here. Yes, they're investigating that big buffalo head, and I'm glad. I hope something comes of it. Yeah, that's true, Sonia Johnson. From what I hear in the UK, freedom of speech has been under attack, and that the police have been given increased powers to arrest people under the guise of public safety or whatever contrived offense that they can come up with. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that, Maddie. Gender Equality Charity and Wild Foundation, a charity that helps victims and survivors of abuse. Well, thank you so much for that, Maddie. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm just about caught up here. Baron, all the writings on the wall that Egghead will never see his romp on the throne, and poor Carrot stayed. She waited 8 years in a common law relationship. Let me see. Vinny Blair says Philip had some nerves ostracizing Fergie for infidelity when he had a whole other family out there, allegedly. Yeah, we still haven't seen that will, and until we've seen that will, I won't believe otherwise. But let's see. And Fu says this is exactly what Prince Harry was telling those entitled racist abusers. Move on with the times. No press leakage. No wasp, bee, and fly. They did not listen. Yeah. The wasp, bee, and the fly. If you guys haven't finished the book, that is a reference to the courtiers that seem to be controlling the diary of the queen toward the end. If that kid threw egg was black, he would have ended up like Tyree Nichols, God forbid. If those Brit cops and unroyal securities can roughen up whites for silent protests, imagine what the hell they would do to blacks. Yeah. Um, okay. Baron shouting USA is an allegiance to the country and not to one man. King shouting USA is shouting for American people and democracy, not a monarchy. Big difference. That's true, Marshall, but I have to say that when I saw that happening with the MAGA people, it just took on a whole different meaning for me. I would not want to be in a MAGA crowd and to hear them start shouting something like that. Because if you guys remember, when they had people protest at the Trump rallies, when they, especially when that one kid got belted in the face by that old man, they started, chanting that. So I think depending on the group setting, that it could be quite intimidating. And I would not want to be around the MAGA people when they start yelling USA. Nope. That's one exception I'm going to make for that one. Let's see. Lori says, Baron, have you heard of a big movie being made about Andrew? Yes, I did, about the famous interview. I think the name of the movie is called Trainwreck. I think it's called Trainwreck. And then, of course, the sequel is going to be called, they're going to call it Trainwreck. I Couldn't Look the Other Way. And then the third movie, let me come up with a title, Trainwreck. It Can Happen Again. Oh, man. Let's see. I find it funny. Horse did a domestic violence event today. And right after the organization claimed they were investigating Clarkson, 2 months later, 2 months later, after saying it was freedom of speech. Okay. Okay, I think I'm all caught up. Let me move on. Um, I told y'all it wasn't going to last, didn't I? Didn't I say don't worry about it? Didn't I say it? Don't worry about it. She won't be able to keep this up. Well, drab, boring. There she goes with all the big extensions. Body by Fisher, makeup by Sherwin Williams. I told you it wouldn't be long. Look at that hideous coat she got on. Look at that hideous coat. And then this is what gets me. Look at the model on the right, and then look at Kate. Not exactly the designer's intentions at all. Look at how is. I mean, just look at it. Look at it. It's a mess. She's back to her usual frumpy, messy, plain Jane, no frills self. She even buying old outfits. Her spending is out of control. Yeah, she's spending a lot of money, and they're not going to say anything about it. And the big difference is this is public money, not personal money, public money. And you all know that this money is not coming from her mama because she's almost broke. So, um, how do you take something as innocuous as a coat and turn it into a potato sack? I mean, she can literally take couture and turn it into a potato sack. I don't know how she does that. She can take some of the nicest fabrics, some of the best lines, things that would work under any other circumstance, and when she puts it on, it goes down the drain. Just frumpy, frumpy. Now, like, take a look here. Kate Middleton's 2022 wardrobe costs 170 176,000 pounds, with one item worth five figures, and she still looks like that. Now, of course, that is a little license from a squatty. That's not an actual headline. But if you translated the headline, then that's exactly what it says. Now, a real headline over here, you're welcome. The real headline over here: Kate's most expensive fashion year yet. Princess of Wales wore a record 176,000 pound worth of new clothes in 2022. For real? For real? I just don't get it. She's skinny. That's the they say that when you're thin, everything looks perfect on you, right? You can wear anything. And then there's Kate. I mean, look at how she coming there all leaning back and proud. Look at how she coming in there all leaning back and proud of herself. And she done took that nice coat and turned it into a potato sack. That now it looks like something that you do, like a one-legged race. You know how they do that one-legged race, so that you hop in the potato sack. That's what it looks like now. Took a perfectly fine couture fashion piece and turned it into a potato sack. It seems like you would turn that upside down, and a whole bunch of russet potatoes will come flying out of it. I don't know how she do it. I don't know how she does that. It's like it's like magic. One minute it's a fine piece of clothing, and then when she puts it on, girl, bye. Girl, bye. Let me see. Out of all these, especially that green thing, oh, I'll never forgive her for wearing that windsock. And then, of course, you have here Kate Middleton's wardrobe cost the taxpayers 176,000 pounds, and Meghan Markle used her own money to buy the Daily Mail, are trying to start up hatred against her. Um, so, Duchess Hollywood value Meghan Markle wardrobe boomed to 79,000 pounds in 2022, despite stepping back from royal duties. But then look at Kate's. I just don't know how she spent more than double and looked that bad. How do you spend almost twice as much money to look that bad? To look that plain and boring and frumpy? Just like the article said. Now, this is a real article, Duchess of Drab. I actually went to look for that. I found it, and it's true. And look who wrote it: Sarah Vine. Duchess of Drab. It's a mystery of the cosmos. How does a beautiful woman make designer outfits look so frumpy? I don't know. I I don't know how it happens. It's like somebody just hit a switch or turned a knob, and it just goes to front. I don't know how that happens. And then it doesn't help either when her feet don't know which direction to go. Her fashion tastes don't have a sense of direction. Her words don't have a sense of direction. And now her clothes do not have a sense of direction. So I'm going to just say this. This latest Keening Kate is the best incarnation of Kate that there has ever been. And God knows it took long enough. It is 2023. But she has finally come into herself. I wish she knew what she was talking about, but she has finally found, well, it almost sounds redundant to say she found her voice, but she's finally found somebody else's voice. I think it's Molly. I think it's Molly Wright's voice. That's what it is. I would say she's found her voice, but it's actually Molly Wright's voice because her five things, her five questions or whatever, seems to come from Molly Wright, who did the TED Talk. So she has finally come into Molly Wright's voice. Now, either Molly Wright is a ventriloquist or she has had some elocution lessons or something. Now, if they can only teach her how to walk, we'll get somewhere. But that little proud strut she has wearing that drab, hideous coat makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. What a waste. What a wasted platform. She has just totally wasted this platform. Now, as you can see, that article is from 2016, and I have been hanging on to it for about at least 6 months because when I saw it, I was like, yes, yes, somebody finally understands. Hark, who might that be? And I was surprised when I found out it was Sarah Vine. But remember, before they started picking on Megan, this type of little softball hit job like this was all they had. So, but yeah, look at look at her feet. Look at her feet. Oh Lord, was she standing? Was she standing like that, or was she turning? I'm going to be fair and say maybe she was turning because I would hate to think how long she actually stood in that spot like that. Oh Lord. I mean, how long did she stand like that before she realized that her foot was turning? Or maybe she was dancing. Maybe she was doing the mashed potato. That's what it is. Maybe she was doing the mashed potato. Yeah, I'm not going to assume that she has bad posture or anything like that. She was just doing the mashed potato, and the photographer just happened to catch a random photo of her, and that's it. She was doing the mashed potato. I mean, who doesn't just stand there and all of a sudden start doing the mashed potato? Just the other day, I was standing up there, and all of a sudden, I started doing the hustle. Do 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 do. So maybe that's what happened to her. She was standing there, and all of a sudden, she started doing the mashed potato. People do that, especially weird people. Lex says it's the cosplay Yeti now. Is that what it is? Is that the Yeti bent knee? Yeah, she's doing that little dance called the Yeti. How could I have missed that? Oh Lord, let me stop. My stomach is hurting. Oh, woo. Okay. You know I gotta find it, don't you? You know I gotta find it. Where is it? Nope, not that one. She's doing that hot new dance called the Yeti. Ladies and gentlemen, the Yeti. Oh man. But yeah, it's fascinating to me how she could take a perfectly good frock and turn it into a mess. Okay, let me see here. All right, there we go. We got contact.
Meghan in a Valentino white. Compare, I hate to do this, but compare Meghan in a Valentino white, absolutely wowing the crowds, and dear Kate in that very staid 1940s Amelia Wickstead coat.
Oh, you were really winding me up now. Yeah.
Well, I knew that would upset you, Richard, because I know you're more of a Middleton kind of girl and you like the sort of twin set and pearls 50s look. But all I'm saying is, who's speaking to the future generations, the younger generations? It's Meghan.
Now, of course, that is the same person who referred to Kate as a mute woman. Boy, I tell you, nobody could read her like she can. Thank you so much, Legs, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, hey, Big Mama is here. Hi, Big Mama. And Rohini is here. Rohini says, Baron, that stance of Kate is the pootie. It's the pootie dance to see. Woo, Rohini. Uh, you really snuck up on me with that one. The pootie dance. Oh, it's the potty dance. Oh, okay. Oh, now you. But I do remember one of the body language experts was saying that she carries that purse like that because she is painfully shy, and that she's trying to, I don't know, well, block or something like that. But she never really knows what to do with her hands. I noticed that she got that weird tick, and it's like if she can have her hands like that, then her mouth's not doing anything funny. But if she doesn't have her hands fixed like that, then she start, doing that weird thing with her mouth. So she she just got a little bit of a tick. It's just a little tick, that's all. And she ain't hurt nobody. She just got a little bit of a tick where she don't know what to do with her hands or her mouth. But it's just a little tick she got, see? Just a little tick. Oh, I don't think that was the one I was looking for. But yeah, she just got a little tick. Just a little nervous condition. Um it's just a little tick. That's all it is. It's just a little tick. She not hurting nobody. It's just a little tick. Ooh. It's just a little tick she got. It's just a little tick. It's just a little tick. Oh Lord, wait, my eyes are wet. Oh, woo! It's just a little tick she got. That's all. She ain't hurt nobody. She just get a little nervous sometimes. She just get a little nervous sometimes. It's just a little tick. Ah, she is is the model of poise and elegance, if there has ever been one. Let me see. Joan Lawman, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you. But yeah, sometimes people just get a little tick. So, and then of course, there was that time she came to America. She came to Boston to show Megan how it's done, only to emerge from the plane wearing her Chairman Mao outfit. So you can't say that she doesn't take fashion risk. I mean, to resurrect Chairman Mao from his sarcophagus or his whatever, to resurrect Chairman Mao took a lot of courage, but she somehow found a way to do it. So um, I can see why people are so proud of the English rose. All right. So anyway, as I said, they forgot to airbrush. They're under a lot of pressure. Kate is feeling the pressure. She's feeling the pressure of her position, right? And because of that, mistakes will be made. Um, you know, Jessica Tandy will be brought out. The Amish families, all of those things are brought to the fore when you're under this kind of pressure. But it's these moments that shall define her reign. Now, unfortunately, as I am afraid of the YouTube, I don't have the video for this. King Charles appears to forget who Prince Harry is by replying, "Who? Who?" when asked to bring him back. But then Charles chuckles and says it would be nice once he realized the well wisher was asking about the Duke. And so during a walkabout, Charles appears to forget who Prince Harry was. An onlooker asked King to bring Harry back. King Charles responded in turn, "Who?" before realizing his mistake. Um, oh man, it wasn't no mistake. You knew exactly who they was talking about. Let's see. She's feeling the pressure to keep up with Megan. That is true, Helene Colin. Thank you for the super chat. And that's what it is. She feels that pressure to try to outdo Megan, which, those are some pretty tight shoes to fill. But in spite of that, she keeps trying. And it's only, as I said yesterday, it's a shame that it's only in bringing up Megan is it that they could actually seem to bring attention to her, which says a lot. I would be too embarrassed to make that my platform, is to see if I can compete with another person. I mean, especially for such an empowered, entitled woman that she is, that she would have to resort to that. They could put a stop to that at any given time.
Oh, please, can you bring him back, sir? Who? Harry, your son. Archie's son.
Okay, can you bring them back one more time?
Oh, please, can you bring him back, sir? Who? Harry, your son. Archie's son.
Yeah, and then Charles turns and goes, "Oh, ho, ho, oh, ho, ho, oh, ho, ho, hell! You know who he talking about? Oh, ho, ho, hell! You know he meant Harry." Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that happened, though. I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that the king was made to feel small because of the ever-present popularity of his child. And that's the one thing that Charles has always had to deal with, is that in spite of the fact that he has worked very hard, and he has worked hard, in spite of the fact that he is the king now, and still it's about other people. It's always about other people. I think the Who just came out naturally, as he is used to saying it behind the closed doors. When he heard Harry, he did what he does at home, Who, and then realized he was in public. Oh, that's a good one, Lori. That's a good one. I didn't think about it like that, but you know what? You're probably right. You're probably right. He probably does pull that little stunt at home, pretending like he don't know who his son is. Yeah, he that makes a lot of sense. Now, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make much sense. If it's one thing I've learned from Michael Dukakis, and that is when you are a public figure, do not put a giant helmet on your head. When you are a public figure, do not put a gigantic phallic helmet on your head. Everybody already thinks you're one in the first place. Why would you put that big giant helmet on your head, Rishi? Rishi Sunak puts this gigantic helmet on his head, and so now it looks like he's doing a reboot of the movie Spaceballs, which of course was a parody of Star Wars. Yeah, I mean it it's not a good photo op. And it reminds me of Mike Dukakis, and I'm embarrassed to say that Mike Dukakis and I share the same birthday, among other people. But Mike Dukakis, also born on November 3rd, share the same birthday with myself. And there he is looking like a buffoon with that gigantic helmet on his head. And then, of course, when I thought about ridiculous, helmet, ridiculous, I was like, oh, that's right. Kate did the same thing. How could I forget that? Yeah, so note to self, if you are running for public office, do not make an appearance with a gigantic helmet on your head. Otherwise, that is like an image that the public will throw out at you every now and again. But yeah, look at Rishi Sunak. He looks ridiculous. But that is your taxpayer money hard at work. Let's see. Charles has known Harry is Prince of Hearts, and as a Prince of Heart, people love him and will always remind Chuck of their love for Harry by asking about Harry if nothing is done by the royal family. Yeah, guys, as Americans, we don't have the intimate knowledge of what it's like being a British citizen, or should I say, the king's subject. But people do honestly, or some people can honestly separate their feelings for the crown, for the king, even for the queen, in contrast to other things that's going on. And they have effectively uh, put up a partition between all of the financial woes that are happening in Britain and the fact that you have this royal family living this lavish lifestyle at the taxpayer's expense. It's almost like the military. You just don't question the existence. You just feel like it needs to be there, like it's the natural order of things. And so if there is something that goes wrong, the lightning rod becomes the prime minister and never the sovereign. So does that make sense, Elaine Parker? Because as I said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what it means to live in, but I listen to people and I believe they sincerely have this barrier, this wall. They can differentiate between the two. They don't make any association between the wealth of the monarch and the greater society. It is, and then too, I also noticed that I have seen so many like news organizations from the UK and other things where there is never a reference to the royal family. It seems like that's all they talk about for us here in the U.S. It seems like everybody has the royal family on their minds all day, when the truth is, people go about their business in the UK and they can go months without ever acknowledging the sovereign or the family or any other thing that references um, the sovereign or the I'm sorry, the British royal family. They can spend months without bringing them up. So that's something that I think that a lot of the people in the squad have to remember. It seems like it's everything from where we're looking, but when you're inside of the system, when you're inside the country, it's not like people wake up thinking about the Queen or thinking about. I mean, look at how fast it took to almost forget the Queen was ever there. And I don't mean literally, I mean, but in a figurative way, as she was a part of everybody's life every day. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that go right back to where they were before and rarely even mention the Queen or reference the Queen. The Queen, for a lot of people, was just like having a ham at Christmas. You just expect to have that ham at Christmas, and when it's gone, once you've gotten that last sandwich out of it, who cares? So, anyway, thank you so much, Elaine. Okay, so that's it for Spaceballs. King Charles did not want Meghan Markle to be a working royal, Harry says. Well, this article is from Jack Royston of Newsweek, and we know how we feel about him. He's very sometiming, and if you're not African American, sometiming means that you're not consistently supportive to an individual. Very sometiming. But yeah, that part of the book definitely jumps out, where it seems as though the goalpost was moved, everything suddenly changed, and I guess that probably had been part of it from the beginning, that whoever Harry married, especially considering Harry's popularity, that if he married, and especially if the person that he marries someone that will, bring a great deal of celebrity with them, not necessarily, from being an actress, but just celebrity in that, that whoever he married was likely to be very popular. And once that happened, then I'm pretty sure that Charles was going to do the exact same thing, where whoever Harry married, they didn't expect that person to be an active part of the royal family. I don't think they wanted anybody to do that. I don't think they wanted anybody to take that attention away, especially when you consider exactly how dull the Cambridges were and how dull the Duchess of Cornwall and Charles. They just could not have that. I don't think that they really thought it through as much as it was probably just established, probably and unwritten, of course, but just established whoever Harry married. Oh, well, they would have preferred Harry never married, I believe, but whoever he married, they were never going to get a fair shake with that family. And then, of course, because this is a woman of color, of African American descent, once you throw that into the mixture, the American actress, then of course she has no place within this institution. And who knows, maybe if the Queen wasn't around, she wouldn't have had a chance to do half as much as she was able to do. And because of that jealousy, then of course they all turned against her like a pack of wolves. Panther, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member, and always thank you for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Thursday to you. But yeah, I just, I believe that they just didn't want Harry to marry. And whoever he married, they could not be popular. And Kate is not a girl's girl, so she would have never been friends with anybody. She's not anybody's friend like that. I think is her children, her parents. I don't even know that she gets along with her sister that well, considering that her sister named her daughter, her newborn daughter, Rose. That could not have been by accident. Let me see. Well, Tampon King got his wish granted. Meghan is now no longer a working royal. Hooray for Meghan. Yes. Thank goodness for that. She doesn't have to be a part of that system. I still struggle with the fact that the hostility has been and continues to be so public. I still struggle with that it has been so public that they haven't tried to hide their disdain. They haven't tried to conceal their hostility. And when I say they, I'm speaking of the family, that they haven't even tried to hide it, especially William, that they have not even tried to disguise their disdain for Meghan. I bet they thought it was going to be easier to get her to just go away. But instead, she is every moment of every day with that institution. And nothing proves that better than when the Queen was dying and the first plane to make it up to Balmoral, all the press could talk about was Harry and Meghan are here. I think that's Harry and Meghan. Y'all, look, y'all, it's Harry and Meghan. Oh my God, it's Harry and Meghan. Only to find out that it was William and the Wessexes. Even in death, the Queen could not have the attention that she was worthy of. It was all about Harry and Meghan. She couldn't even die and have the center of attention. Look, y'all, there's that plane. I think it's Harry and Meghan. It's Harry and Meghan. I'm not making it up. I still have the video. I saved the video from where the announcer was saying that they thought it was, even the caption at the bottom of the screen said Harry and Meghan. That was the most important thing of the moment, was that Harry and Meghan was there to bid farewell to the Queen. Not William, not Kate, certainly not the Wessexes. Most people don't even know that they exist. And it's amazing how many people in Britain don't even know that the Queen had 4 children. Just goes to show the appeal of the Wessexes. But you've seen some of them get-ups that they wear. Not really attention stealers, are they? But yeah, look, that's the Sussexes. Yes, that's Harry and Meghan. Y'all, Harry and Meghan here. So I'm not surprised that Charles was afraid of a little competition. I'm not surprised. When you can be upstaged at your own funeral, or if you can be upstaged at your own coronation, you got problems. You got problems. And so it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If the Sussexes show up for the coronation, everybody's going to be looking for them. If the Sussexes don't go to the coronation, everybody's going to be looking for them, hoping against hope that at the last minute that the big door of the church is going to, and then Harry and Meghan is going to come running in there. Hey, y'all, we here. But the truth is still they are the most important members of that family. And all that stuff about those polls and popularity, there's 2 kinds of popular. There's popular in that everybody's thinking about you and talking about you. And then there's popular that people really like you and love you. So that's why they always say, is it better to be loved or respected? Well, either way, the Sussexes are the moment. So even when it has nothing to do with them, it's always about them where that family is concerned. None of them can stand on their own merits unless Harry and Meghan is involved. Other than that, there really is no show. And that's just the truth. Speaking of the show, speaking of the show, everybody loves this image of the vice president being escorted to the chamber for the State of the Union, and those two old guys following behind her as they are walking in rank are the uh, majority leader McConnell and the minority leader Schumer, and of course the president of the Senate, Vice President of the United States Kamala Harris, is right there in contrast with the American flag. So love that image. Let's zoom in, shall we? Eat my dust. Oh man, I remember this from the election time back in what was it, 2020? I got to stop hitting that bell. Back in 2020, if you guys remember, when Kamala Harris had her debate with Pence, this was one of the memes that was making it around the social media. Was this image right here? Which, by the way, I love that dress. I think it's beautiful. But yeah, so that was the one that I remember, and I went into my archives and pulled that out. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's right. You know what? I forgot about that. I'm thinking Congress. You're absolutely right. McConnell is still the minority leader. Schumer held his position as majority leader. Oh, thank you so much for that. I was thinking of the Congress. Let's see. The night the old man handed them their behinds. I still love this moment. The night the old man handed them their behinds. Yes, Uncle Joe, old Uncle Joe, showed them that there is still a lot of hunt in this old dog. There is still plenty hunt in this old dog. This is the night I fell in love with Joe Biden. Do you guys want to hear this story or not? Picture it. The presidential debate 2020. And that was when he told Trump, he said, you picked the wrong guy on the wrong night at the wrong time. So Trump had mentioned something about how Biden had got lucky with their first debate. And Biden said in a very wry and sassy voice, he said, yeah, and I'm going to get lucky again tonight, too. I mean, Biden was on fire. He just told Trump, he said, yeah, and I'm going to get lucky tonight, too. And he did again and again and again. So that was the night when I fell in love with Uncle Joe. Now, you got to hear this soundbite. You got to hear this soundbite. Uncle Joe, who is supposed to be too old to breathe, let alone govern a country. Let me find that for you. Let me see.
They don't. I don't know who they think they are. We saw on Tuesday night Republicans don't like me being called out on this. They were not very happy with me pointing this out. But their words speak. Look, I know that a lot of Republicans, their dream is to cut Social Security and Medicare. Well, let me say this. If that's your dream, I'm your nightmare. Okay. They don't. I don't know who they think they are. We saw on Tuesday night Republicans don't like me being called out on this. They were not very happy with me pointing this out. But their words speak. Look, I know that a lot of Republicans, their dream is to cut Social Security and Medicare. Well, let me say this. If that's your dream, I'm your nightmare. Okay. So,
Did you all get all that? If your dream is to cut Social Security and Medicare, if that's your dream, then I'm your nightmare. And that is that. He said what he said. Um, I want to thank uh, Lauren Brown for helping me with the live the other day. And when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that looks just like me when Lauren Brown was here. I went to go lay down somewhere. Yeah, that kind of reminded me of it kind of reminded me of the girl in a Zoom call class um, when Lauren had came to help. By the way, Lauren was amazing. If you guys missed that one, and you know what, I really meant to go and change the title of it so that I could put Lauren in there, and I forgot to do it. But I'll try to remember to do that. So this one right here, this was she's an artist. Let me play the sound bite for this one.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I finally have my hands on this book, Spare by Prince Harry. I ordered it on January 7th from my local library. I got it today, Feb 9th. I will be reading it this weekend. I cannot wait for all the juicy gossip, everything that I've been reading. Oh my God. My state library system has like 200-300 copies just in my small state alone. My local library, they have to keep going and buying copies. People aren't bringing copies back because it's express loan for 2 weeks instead of the usual 4 weeks. I've had to wait 4 weeks for this. People haven't brought them back. Books have gone missing already just in the last 4 weeks alone. They don't know how, they don't know why. Well, I mean, we could all guess why. But I mean, come on, gone missing. Okay, so they told me today there was like 1,000 strong wait list just for this book. I cannot wait. I've only got 2 weeks. If I can read it twice, I will.
Okay, I had to cut it there because she dropped an F-bomb after that. Not in a bad way, but she dropped an F-bomb, so I had to have my finger ready. But anyway, she's an artist. I blocked her name so people won't mess with her social media. But she's an artist, and I thought that was very sweet the way she was so excited about the book. But yeah, I just picked up Spare by Prince Harry from my local library today. It's express loan, 2 weeks only, not the usual 4. So I'm reading it this weekend. Cannot wait. So very, very cool. And I'm happy for her. And she's pretty too. I like her aesthetic. It's very, very cool. She looks like an artist. So there you go, you guys. But oh, you guys are still talking about Uncle Joe, huh? Let me see here. Mama always tells me not to mess with old folks. Go Uncle Joe. Go Uncle Joe. Yeah, I'm very proud of Uncle Joe. He should. Hey, Ronnie. Uncle Joe showed that this is why they don't like to hire old people. Yes, Anastasia, I am too. I don't ever regret my vote. I don't ever regret my vote. I'm so glad I can feel good every day and don't have to listen to that maniac that was in there before. I mean, literally, I was having a physical reaction to seeing that monster on the screen, and nobody should have that much power over anybody. And as quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of Republicans that are not brainwashed into all that MAGA stuff that, in spite of what they think about Joe Biden's age, they were happy for him too, which is why Joe Biden got over 8 million votes more than Trump, because people were tired and they wanted that old, reliable Nash in the garage rather than some, unreliable, souped up on octane, ridiculous person like Trump. So makes a huge, huge difference. So Social Security should be secure for generations to come, all because of pensioner like Joe Biden. took a stand. I mean, he took a stand. He managed to outwit. He managed to outwit all those people. And look at the Speaker of the House. Look at the Speaker of the House. I'm telling you, McCarthy is in love with Joe Biden. I don't care what anybody says. McCarthy is going to follow and toe the party line, but I believe his relationship with Biden and Harris is quite cordial. I really do believe that. They, he did not run from his seat after the speech ended. And I'm going to tell you guys another thing that I noticed is that when Biden was leaving the chamber, they still had business to conduct after he left. And it took him 20 minutes to get out the door because of all the people that were speaking to him. Oh, and by the way, someone did send me the name of this congresswoman from Illinois. And someone, I just want you to know I appreciate that. And I forgot the name already. But yeah, so at least I know she's a congresswoman from Illinois. And then, of course, there's the kiss. Now, I don't believe it was a kiss on the lips, but it was awfully close. But I think that's just an optical illusion. However, if it was, so what? It is what it is. So there you go. Uncle Joe was in rare form. He even spoke about the talk. I think it was very, very successful. So I am proud of the old guy. Uncle Joe, come through. That's all I got to say is come through, Uncle Joe. Now this, if you don't recognize it, is actually filled with a fruit. And no, I did not have it, but someone sent me a photo of it, and it has been haunting my dreams ever since. It's like I want to try one so bad, but it's covered with like a red food, safe to consume edible food dye, something, but probably made from a beetle spleen or something. But it looks delicious, though. It is smooth and great. Anyway, I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to have one, but it just looks so good. It's so interesting. I think it's like chocolate with a fruit filling and oh, oh. Poor Burt Bacharach. Well, he lived a good life. I mean, after all, he found out the way to San Jose. I wonder, what is it, Santa Fe? Do you know the way to Santa Fe? Yeah, I guess he found the way to Santa Fe. Now, I don't know if that's bedroom talk or if they were really talking about Santa Fe, New Mexico. But whatever the case is, he lived a good life. He was a music genius, and he will be missed. Now, of course, the collaboration with Miss Dionne Warwick was one for the ages. I mean, it was like Dionne Warwick sings Burt Bacharach classics. I love that. What a time that was for music. Elegant, serene Dionne Warwick, and of course, the very talented Burt Bacharach. Those were the days. Is San Jose? Oh, okay. Do you know the way to San Jose? La 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 la. Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, brother Burt Bacharach is gone. Those were the days. What a time that must have been. Let me see. Somewhere Austin Powers is crying. Aw. Okay, and with that, you guys, let's take a look at this. You just can't buy cool. You cannot buy cool. You're either cool or you're not. Harry always looks so capable and so virile and so manly. And then there's that cream puff William, who always looks so out of place wherever he goes. He looks so uncomfortable in his skin. Not that I'm doing that little petty comparison. I'm not, because there is no comparison. Harry is just everything, and that's all to it. Harry, the real king. And you know what, you guys? I am done. So thank you very much for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you so much for your generous contributions. Thank you to the moderators, the mod squad. Couldn't do it without you. Also, thank you for the memories. Oh, I know. Thank you for the gifts to the what is it? The wish list. The wish list. Always fun to go and. A matter of fact, let me see if I have anything in there today. I mean, if I don't, no big deal. But it is nice when there is something to look forward to. That's all. I'm just looking for something to look forward to. Just a little trinket or something to bring a smile on my face, but no pressure. Okay, so all right, it ain't nothing in there. But it used to be. It used to be. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, hark! What is that I see out the corner of mine eye? Is that the link to the wish list? Okay, thank you. Hark. Hark the hero wish list pinning. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the wish list. All right, so thank you so much. Remember, there is no obligation to click onto that wish list and find some little trinket or item, a doohickey to bring a smile to my face. But if you do, that's nice too. Let me see here. Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Without you guys, what would I be doing right now? Okay, I think we're good. Did you? Let me see. All right. Well, if that is true, then giddy up, move along, head 'em up, move along, head 'em up. Cornwall, ride 'em in, turn 'em out. Ride 'em in, Cornwall. I'm sorry, Rawhide, not Cornwall, Rawhide. Why did I say Cornwall? I don't know. Yeah. Handsome man too, wasn't he, Burt Bacharach? I mean, to tell you, that was a very swinging time to be Burt Bacharach. I'm pretty sure that it took a lot of penicillin to get him through the 70s. Let me see here. But you know what I say? If I go on vacation and I don't come back on a pillars, wait. If I go on vacation and I don't come back on a penicillin drip, I didn't have a good time. All right. Let me see. Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it today, but I am going to go back and watch it. I started it, but I didn't finish it. Let me see. Oh, cool, Lorna Williams. I'm glad to hear that. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Now, see, I just want to listen to Burt Bacharach now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to Burt Bacharach. Oh, really? They were a couple at the time. Angie Dickinson? I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah. I like Burt Bacharach. And that, that's what's wrong with this world today. I think if more young men were called Burt, then this world would be a much safer place to be in. That's what we need. We need more Burts. Bring the Burts back. You know what I mean? Well, how long has it been since somebody has what is Burt short for? Is it Albert? What is Burt short for? Is it for Albert? I never knew. I mean, Burt. I guess it's Albert. Couldn't be Robert, right? Albert, Burt. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a good name, Burt. It's so endearing. Oh, she was married to Burt. I don't know. I don't know what Burt is short for. Well, I mean, I guess I could Google his name. Burt Bacharach. Let me see. Let me see what he was born. Burt Freeman Bacharach. That was his name, Burt. Really? Burt Freeman Bacharach. I guess that was his name. Maybe they called him Burt because his name was Bacharach. Well, that's what I see on the Wikipedia. Burt. Let me go to early life. Bacharach was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and he grew up in Kew Gardens, Queens. Oh, wow, there's a Kew Gardens in Queens, New York. Graduated from Forest Hill High School, and in 1946, he was the son of Irma M. Freeman and Mark Bertram Burt Bacharach. That's where it comes from, Mark Bertram Bacharach. So they nicknamed his father Burt, but that's not his name, but maybe that's why they called him that. Well-known syndicated newspaper columnist, his mother was also an amateur painter and a songwriter who was responsible for making Burt Bacharach learn piano during his childhood. His family was Jewish, and he said that they did not practice or give much attention to their religion, but the kids I knew were Catholics, he added. I was Jewish, but I didn't want anybody to know about it. Oh, well, okay, so there you go. People called his father Bertram. Very cool. All right. Gosh, that man has known everybody. So I wonder why they called Burt Reynolds Burt. Yeah, Bertram, with an M. Bertram, I believe it was. But I think his father was Bertram, not him. Oh, well, so I just learned a little something. All right, you guys, good night. Good night, all. We're done for today. I'm just having a little small talk. Let me see. Do you realize his mom gave up on him playing the piano, and it hurt him that he disappointed his mom, and he decided to give it a real try? I did not know that. Oh, that's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, well. All right. So that is Burt. All right. Very, very cool. I like him. What the world needs now is love. Oh, yeah. The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. Why comb in my hair now? Da 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 da. Where now? Say a little prayer for you. I just love the way Aretha Franklin just came in there and just took a couple of them songs and made it her own. Once Aretha Franklin takes a song, she don't ever give it back. Bertram. Oh, thank you, Jill Woodcock. Bertram. All right. Let me see. Bert and Diane, and Dion had a major falling out because she could not claim any rights to the music. She was just a voice, finally made up decades later. Let me do that. On New Year's Eve, as he held her hand while singing. Yeah, boy, I tell you, some of those music contracts, it's a shame too, because, we love the music so much. And there's always these complicated, ugly stories that seems to be underpinning some very beautiful artistry. So I hate to hear stuff like that. But all I can say is, what's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moments we live? And if life is on and I forget the words, and if only fools are kind, Alfie, is it best? Oh hell, I forgot. Anyway, if only fools are kind, Alfie, is it? Oh, I forgot the words. All right. So on that weird and bizarre high note, with that very bizarre high note that we are going to have to scrape off the ceiling. As a matter of fact, when I'm done, I'm going to go in the kitchen and get the spatula so I can come back in here and try to scrape that note off the ceiling before it eats through the paint. Oh man, weren't those some great songs? Let me see here. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I am going to Ginger Avenger. And our last word of the day is there we go. Perfect. Night, guys. Hugs. Thank you so much, B10. And what else do we need to do here? Oh, I guess I can say goodnight to our queens, our queen of hearts and our queen of everything. Let me see. Yes, Archie is going to be the next Burt Bacharach. Is that a good song, Mommy? All right. Do you want me to do it again? I can sing it again. All right. There we go. And to cue the Ginger Avenger. Good night, all. What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you lend an old golden rule? I guess we'll never know. We'll never know. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Did you like the bell? I thought that was a nice touch. All right, let me see here. Yes, Indigo Night, everybody. Pam Porter, let me see. I've got to have a Burt Bacharach mini concert. Okay, well, if that's the case, as sure as I believe that heaven above. Oh man. Okay, I'm done, but seriously, though, I'm gonna go. But thank you guys. And under 2 hours, a whole whopping 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 10 seconds. 13, 14 seconds, 15 seconds. Why not just make it 2 hours? Let me see here. Dion was so polished with Bert. Let me see here. I was shocked to find out her background was gospel, right? Yeah, because she didn't do a lot of improvising and stuff like that with Burt Bacharach. Not the usual runs that you would hear in gospel. Oh, well. Oh, thank you so much, Olivia Harris. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist, Alfie. Until you find the love you miss, you're nothing, Alfie. Oh, man. Without true love, you just exist, Alfie. And da 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 da, you're nothing. Oh man. Okay, it is 2 hours. All right, see you guys. Bye now.